It all started with a simple act, taking out the kitchen trash. The bag was heavy, full of the usual things, coffee grounds, empty milk cartons, vegetable peels. But then I saw it, a gray Nike sock, my gym sock, sticking out from under some mail. Why was my sock in the kitchen garbage? I pulled it out expecting a cleaning mishap, but it was soiled with a dark stain and a foul odor. My mind raced. This wasn't an accident. I thought of Buster, our golden retriever, but the kitchen was spotless and Buster was asleep. The sock was placed in the trash deliberately. I stared at the garbage, unsettled. The mundane task of taking out the trash had become a mystery. The sock was a clue. Disgusting, but a clue. Was something happening behind my back? I knew I had to ask Sarah, but how do you even start that conversation? Honey, I found my sock in the trash and it appears to be covered in human feces. Any thoughts? The word sounded absurd, but the knot in my gut was real. I stood there realizing this was no simple mistake. The trust in my home felt shaken. I couldn't ignore it. I needed answers. The trash can had become Pandora's box, and I had just opened it. Sarah and I had a good system. She did the laundry, I did the cooking. She was meticulous, insisting on handling the laundry herself. Over the past year though, my socks kept disappearing, not the usual laundry loss but a steady depletion. I'd ask, "Have you seen my socks?" She'd shrug, blame the washing machine, joke about a sock orphanage. I let it go, it was just socks, right? But now, with the soiled sock in mind, her casual dismissals felt like diversions. Was this where all my missing socks had gone? The laundry room, once a symbol of domestic harmony, now felt like a crime scene. Every hamper she gathered seemed suspicious. It wasn't about cleaning anymore, it was about procurement. The missing socks were evidence, not a quirk. The scale of the deception, if that's what it was, started to dawn on me. Trust was eroding. The ordinary had become ominous. I couldn't ignore the pattern. The truth was hiding in plain sight, and I was finally seeing it. I couldn't let it go. I waited for Sarah to get home. I tried to be calm. "Sarah, I found one of my gym socks in the trash. It was dirty." She froze, then busied herself, avoiding my eyes. "That's weird. Must have fallen in," she said, but I pressed. "It looked like it had poop on it." Her face crumpled. Tears welled up. "Why are you accusing me?" she whispered, voice breaking. Her reaction was so intense I doubted myself for a moment, but the evidence was too specific. Before I could say more, she grabbed her keys. "I can't do this," she sobbed, and left, slamming the door. I stood in the silence, stunned. I'd expected a strange explanation, not this. Her emotional reaction only deepened the mystery. This wasn't a small thing, I was more lost than ever. The house felt emptier than before. The sock was no longer just a clue. It was a catalyst. I needed answers, but now I was alone. The silence was suffocating, and the mystery had only grown. The house was silent after Sarah left. I paced, replaying everything. Hours passed. Then my phone buzzed, a text from Sarah. "I'm so sorry I ran out. I'm embarrassed. You're right about the sock. I did it." My heart pounded. "Why?" I replied. "I'm not mad. I just need to understand." Her answer, "It's about the toilet paper. I can't use it. I have a problem." I was confused. What could be wrong with toilet paper? She explained, "I'm a germaphobe. Toilet paper feels dirty. The dust, the thought of it disintegrating, it freaks me out. Socks do. They're thick, soft, feel clean and safe. I use them and throw them away so I don't have to touch anything again. I'm so sorry you had to find out like this." I read her message again and again. She was using my socks instead of toilet paper. The mystery was solved. The truth was stranger than I could have imagined. Her secret was out. The missing socks, the secrecy, it all made sense now. I felt a mix of shock and relief. The bizarre puzzle had a human answer. I finally understood. The silence in the house felt different now. The truth was unsettling, but it was the truth, and it changed everything. I stared at my phone, processing. The real story was so much weirder than any theory I'd had. The revelation hit hard. Sarah's fear of toilet paper was real, and my socks were her coping mechanism. It wasn't malice or disrespect, but a deep-seated phobia. Her logic, though bizarre to me, made sense in the grip of anxiety. Socks were thick, disposable, a shield against germs. Looking back, her obsessive cleanliness, constant hand-washing, and sanitizing were all signs. I'd seen them as quirks, not symptoms. Her phobia was about control over an invisible enemy. Using my socks was a ritual, a way to feel safe. The secrecy, the missing socks, her breakdown, it all clicked. She wasn't angry at me for discovering her secret, she was mortified. The wall she'd built around this part of her life had crumbled. My confusion turned to empathy. She wasn't a strange person doing a disgusting thing. She was someone in pain, struggling with a mental health issue. The truth was raw, but it brought understanding. Our home felt different now, stranger but more honest. I saw her vulnerability, and I wanted to help. The weirdest secret had become a bridge to empathy. Sarah came home late that night. The air was thick with embarrassment and relief. We talked, really talked. She explained her phobia started in college and grew worse. She'd never told anyone, afraid of being judged or thought disgusting. We agreed. The sock system had to end. We brainstormed alternatives, wet wipes, bidet attachments, anything that felt cleaner. It was surreal, but necessary. The real issue was her anxiety. I gently suggested therapy. She hesitated, but agreed to try. It was a huge step. I promised to support her. Things were awkward at first. I took over laundry, counted my socks. Every bathroom trip felt different, but honesty had replaced secrecy. The biggest secret was out. We were navigating a new reality, together. It was weird, but it was ours. The shock was fading, replaced by a fragile trust. We were learning to face uncomfortable truths as a team, and that made all the difference. Weeks have passed since Sockgate. Sarah's started therapy, we installed a bidet. My sock drawer is finally stable. On the surface, things are normal, but something fundamental has shifted. Our relationship survived a test I never saw coming. Sometimes I still feel uneasy, but mostly I feel empathy. Love means accepting all parts of a person, even the weird ones. We haven't laughed about it yet, but I hope one day we will. Maybe years from now, we'll joke about the sock mystery. For now, I focus on the trust and honesty we've built. Anyone can have a normal relationship. Ours is a little stranger, and stronger for it. As I put on a clean pair of socks, I feel grateful. We faced the weirdest of the weird, and we're still standing, together.